Hokage Puya here, another video. There's a bunch going on in the football world. New managers, Chelsea getting some dude, flick to Barca. The transfer news is starting to roll in as the summer comes in. The season's ending. Champions League final this Saturday. I'll have my predictions video out on that tomorrow probably. But I want to talk about things I'm interested in the most, and I think are fun conversations to have on this channel. And I saw some bit of news today, and before we get into talking about this topic, I do want to say I don't know how true this is or whatever, but let's just operate under the assumption that this is true. But either way, even if it's true or not, I just want to talk about why this idea would fail. And the news is that I saw on Twitter breaking 2K Games has secured the FIFA video game license, and FIFA 2K25 will launch later this year. Report by MoPlay Inc. I looked at his Twitter account. It's a gaming account, so I'm not sure how valid this is, but either way, it doesn't matter. I just want to talk about how I think even if 2K Games has secured the FIFA video game license and they will put out a FIFA 2K25 later this year, I don't think it changes anything. Sure, it will be a competitor to that EA FC bullcrap, whatever, but I don't think it changes anything. I don't think it brings people back to the game. Maybe the first year it does, but overall, in the long run, I don't think it brings people back in the long run, in the long term, because essentially, I think the ship has sailed in reviving FIFA, because the main reasons people play FIFA these days, and the main reason people have mostly been playing FIFA the last 10 years is Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team drives all the revenue for EA, was driving all the revenue for EA, all the microtransactions, all the hype and Team of the Year. Everything was Ultimate Team. Everything became really Ultimate Team centered for EA when they were pumping out FIFA games. And I just think because of that, the ship has sailed. The ship really has sailed. And there's two main reasons I want to touch on in this video as to why I think even if 2K pumps out a really good FIFA game this year, in the long run, it's insalvageable. You cannot salvage the FIFA title, in my opinion. The first one that we'll touch on is gameplay, and I think this is the absolute biggest thing that has ruined FIFA. So for context, I'm gonna give my credentials on this. So longtime FIFA player, I officially retired from all console video gaming in like FIFA 2021, FIFA 21. All I really play now is like Pokemon Go, and you could play literally Pokemon games on your phone, like old Game Boy Pokemon games. Sometimes I pick up Lego Star Wars and Super Mario Bros. On my Wii, but I'm essentially retired from video games. You know what? You know what I mean? And I played FIFA religiously from FIFA 8 to FIFA 21. I did. Now, I must preface, I played FIFA 8, 9, and 10 and 11 on the Wii, which doesn't really count. If you played FIFA back then on the Wii, you'll know it was the easiest game ever. All you had to do was shake the Wii remote and you'd score. I really got into console FIFA 12 to basically FIFA 21. Starting from Xbox 360 into PS4. And I just got to tell you, I've basically been there through the whole peak of FIFA, I believe. The whole Ultimate Team peak, the rise of Ultimate Team, what it got to, the peak, Weekend League, what it is now. I've basically been there the whole entire time, and I don't think I've missed out much since FIFA 21. I think the game has just continued to deteriorate because of the reasons I'm going to talk about now. And I think it all boils down to the number one reason why I think FIFA it's insalvageable is because of the gameplay. The gameplay, I will tell you, it's lost it. It doesn't feel like a football game. It doesn't feel like football. It feels like an arcade game. I'm sure you've heard this from everyone on YouTube, but it's true. FIFA now, the last time I played in FIFA 21, it just felt like an arcade game, man. It didn't feel like football. There was metas and all this. And going back to FIFA 12, going back to that time, the gameplay, obviously it was newer. They were still refining it. But the gameplay, I wouldn't say it felt like football, but it wasn't archaic. It wasn't like an arcade game. It still was fair. And people, it all came down in the gameplay. If you remember in FIFA 12, you could win and beat anyone with silver cards because the gameplay itself allowed you to a team of silver cards. Remember in FIFA 12, Agbon Lahore and silver Lukaku and silver El Shaarawy in FIFA 12. Remember those the random silver Brazilian cards, the random silver Bundesliga players. Remember those players? You would be able to roll up with a silver team and beat guys with Messi and beat guys with all rare gold teams because the gameplay allowed for it. The gameplay, as if you were a really good player, the gameplay served you. The gameplay was in your favor, which is how it should be. The gameplay should always favor the players with the most skill at the game. And that is something gradually over a decade that FIFA lost. EA lost it. And to be honest, it's in no fault of their own. We're going to touch on that. But just going back, remember FIFA 12, KSI's videos. Back when it was KSI Olejide whatever, doing his, road to Division 1 with and doing videos with silver players and all that. Everyone was trying to rock silver cards and trying to be good at the game on the grassroots level, playing good FIFA, getting to Division 1, playing against tough players and having fun. At the end of the day, that gameplay was fun, and it was fun because you could pull up with any team with good players and beat anyone. You didn't have to spend too much money. It wasn't focused on microtransactions and grinding SBCs. It was focused on grinding the game, playing, getting hours in matches online, and becoming a better player. And slowly from FIFA 12, remember FIFA 12, the silver cards, and slowly I started to notice it. Slowly the threshold for the quality of team you needed to play well changed because the gameplay was changing. Remember, FIFA 11, 12, 13, you could win with silver cards easily. You could get to Division 3, Division 4, Division 2 with silver cards. I'm not sure about Division 1. I don't think I ever saw anyone make it to Division 1 with a fully silver team on YouTube back then, but you can easily be a Division 2 player with the right silver players. But remember, I think the shift year where the threshold started to shift was FIFA 14 and 15. Remember, FIFA 15, the Serie A trio in the front, Doumbia, Gervinho, and Ibarbo. That's when it shifted. Then it became, these lower rated 78 to 82 rated rare gold cards. You could be anybody with those teams. And it slowly shifted to you need a better, slowly, the quality of card you needed shifted. But we're going to get to that. Going back to the gameplay, the gameplay served the good players. And that's something it lost. And I think the reason it lost that is because you need to eventually cater to players and keep it exciting, and you can never keep something the same and expect it to pull in the same crowd, expect it to bring in more players. You have to make tweaks, which is necessary in games. So they slowly started tweaking the gameplay, and for me, through that decade, FIFA 12 to FIFA 21, I played FIFA. I think the gameplay, seriously, I really think the gameplay was still quality up until FIFA 19. For me, the key shift year in FIFA was FIFA 19. When SBCs were introduced, when clear metas were beginning to be put in play by EA. Clear metas. And that changed the whole game. Having the better cards mattered. To play better. The gameplay shifted. Everyone remembers the scripted front post corner tactic in FIFA 19, scripted goals in the 90th minute, in moments of the match where your players would make passes you weren't telling them to, players missing tackles when you easily would have made the tackles, bullshit penalty calls. It slowly started to creep into the game. The gameplay started to shift, and to be honest, it was still kind of fun because it was still competitive. But at the same time, you sense bullshit. You sense what's going on with this gameplay. There's something weird. And then I think the drop off from FIFA 19 to FIFA 20 was massive in terms of gameplay. Massive. All of a sudden in FIFA 20, I think that's my least played FIFA. FIFA 20, all of a sudden, static, scripting. You need all the best players. You cannot roll up with a regular non-rare gold team and win games. You couldn't. I'm sorry, my hand keeps shaking the screen. And because the gameplay kept shifting, and EA was forced to, unfortunately. You can't keep the product the same and expect, the exponential growth that, any game wants. And any game wants exponential growth in their players. And cool linear, you're still increasing, but every game wants an exponential, as much players as possible. And you need to make changes. You need to attract people. Change attracts people to you got to change the product, right? And eventually the gameplay just deteriorated. It deteriorated to this arcade style game. And this is why I think even if 2K fixes the game, the most important part of this, if they could fix the gameplay, I'm sure the first 2K25, FIFA 2K25 will be fun. People will be back. YouTubers will be happy. Like, this is great. This is awesome. But then we get to the second big issue for me. 2K can fix the gameplay all they want. They can make it feel like real life football, like you're literally in the stadium. They can introduce VR, whatever. But at the end of the day, the second killing factor for FIFA is the ease of getting cards. And that goes back to what I was just talking about silver cards. In that age where the gameplay favored guys who put in hours into the game, learned the ins and outs of the game, and became good at the game. And there was no gameplay switches. There was no nerfs and buffs and metas. You became good at the game. You had a strong basis. You could take the right players and you could play anyone with a silver team. And as I was alluding to before, there's a gradual shift in the threshold of player you needed to win in FIFA. And because of that gradual shift, EA kept building. And again, goes back to FIFA 19. I don't think, some people will say FIFA 17 and FIFA 18 with the introduction of Weekend League was the shift, having all the ease of getting informs as long as you grinded Weekend League and were good. But at the same time, you still had to be good at Weekend League to get the best red inform cards at the end of the month or at the end of every week. You still had to be good. But in FIFA 19, there was the shift. That was when SBCs exploded. And, what I remember from FIFA 19 was metas. And I remember a lot of the meta that year was having that, legendary Zlatan card, that flashback Zlatan card who would score every front post header. Having those icons, legends shifted the name to icons. Icons were available in SBCs. All of a sudden we had SBC icon packs. You're guaranteed icons as long as you grinded the game. So even in FIFA 19, you still, if you weren't pumping money into the game, you still had to grind your ass off to get those guaranteed icon packs. You still have to put high-rated players that you grinded for to get the icon pack, and you weren't guaranteed a good icon, truthfully. You weren't. So you still had to grind it. But that was the shift here. The introduction of SBCs, and all of a sudden, everyone can have an icon. Everyone. And remember how rare it was to get an icon before that. Even also with the Weekend League, I don't think it inflated because I remember if you had a certain rank, you would get a guaranteed icon. You still had to be really good to get that guaranteed icon, right? But FIFA 19, as long as you could then grind the game in FIFA 19, you could have an amazing team. And that was the year the gameplay shifted. And that was the year where if you had certain players, you had an absolute advantage over someone with a weaker team who didn't have certain meta players. Absolutely. And then from FIFA 19 to FIFA 20, you just saw this explosion of SBCs. I remember back in FIFA 15, 16, 17, there wasn't a new card every week. There wasn't a new promotional event twice a week or every week. There was no SBCs or anything. You grinded, you got packs, you got rewards from seasons and stuff. And that's how you got players. And I truthfully, I will say right now, I don't think what killed the game is microtransactions. I truly believe there's a ton of players out there that still don't go out there spend thousands of dollars on the game. Maybe a lot of people will go drop $20 to open packs once in a while with FIFA points. But I really believe there's a lot of people like me out there who still grind the game without spending money. But at this point, it's impossible to do that in this game because the gameplay is arcade style. There's clear metas. There's clear players that give you an advantage. And it works hand in hand. The gameplay favors players, in my opinion, now who have the better teams. The better teams. And let's just go back to the topic of cards. This all now ties into the overall thing as to why I think if 2K released a FIFA 2K25, why it would fail. It's the new generation. This new generation of kids, Do you guys think this new generation of YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok kids, do you know that's the reason why FIFA is pumping out cards every single week, making it so easy for all these little kids to get these amazing cards? It's because kids don't have that ability to sit down for a weekend and put hours into the game and grind for good cards anymore. You guys, that's what I did. I never spent a dime on most FIFA. Sometimes I would get a PS4 gift card for Christmas or something, and I'd spend it on the game. I think I did that 1 or 2 FIFAs, but most of the time, zero money spent on the game. Grind, and build my team from scratch, from time into the game, from hard work. Now these kids can put in minimal hard work, go and just lose a bunch of games, get packs, SBCs, boom, they have an icon in the first 3 months of the game. Boom, they have informs. They have all these 90 rated players, 89, 80, 88, 90 rated players, gold cards, informs, team of the group stage, whatever, all these rainbow looking ass cards. Boom, they have all of these cards all of a sudden 2 months into the game. For grinders like me back then, bro, you wouldn't have an amazing team until team of the year time, this late December, early January. And because of this TikTok generation, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels generation who have short time spans and are not able to sit down and grind a game out and want things to come to them easy, EA, or now it's called EAFC, whatever, FIFA, EA had to make getting cards easier for this newer generation of FIFA players. Because there's plenty of guys like me who grew up this last decade playing FIFA who don't pick up the game anymore. We're too busy. We're getting our adult life started. That first generation was into the Ultimate Team. We're getting our lives started. A lot of guys don't have time to grind FIFA anymore. So now they have to cater to this new generation of players. They really do. And that just comes with making the game easier. Getting cards easier, making the gameplay more arcade style to appease the younger kids. The younger kids don't care about a football game that feels like football. I remember when when EA introduced, I forget what year it was, but the player motions where it actually feels like you're the player. I thought that was mind-bending. I thought, oh my God, the game feels so much realer. Ronaldo and Messi had their own running styles. Robin had his own running style. Ribéry, Hazard, Neymar had their own running styles and everything. They had their own actual movements in the game. And I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. But kids now, I guarantee you, don't care about it. And, every year now I see a guy like AA9 Skills. I feel bad for AA9 Skills. Guys like him who their whole career is FIFA. That game just keeps drowning them. Each year the game dies faster and faster, and it's evidenced by their view counts. First month or two of FIFA, views are up. After 2 months, the views are fucking in the gutter. They're in the gutter. Back then in FIFA 16, FIFA 15, Anisong Gibb, all those guys, Chris MD, Spencer FC, bro, they're raking in millions of views in February, in March, in freaking May, and during team of the season time. Now it's not like that. Now, during team of the season and team of the year, anyone could get a team of the year. Anyone could get a team of the season. Bro, that shit was rare for me. You guys, I retired FIFA 21 because I sensed how bad the game was and how the direction it was going for, and because of the lack of time. But also, I finally, after 10 years of grinding that game, I finally had packed Messi and a team of the year for the first time in the span of a week. And I kid you not, I packed them, and you'd think I want to play with them. I played 2 games with Messi, 1 game with João Cancelo team of the year, and I never played again because I felt it was complete. And I realized this game is not worth picking up anymore. Genuinely, FIFA 20 and FIFA 21, I would pick up the game, play like 4 or 5 hours, and I wouldn't smile once. I would literally sit there like this, pissed off the whole time. I wouldn't smile because the game wasn't fun. It was rage-inducing. It was toxic. And that's just a combination of the deterioration of the gameplay quality with the new generation of kids who it's catering to, with the ease of getting cards and the gameplay catering to people with better cards, and the gameplay having metas and different metas and all this. It has eventually led up to what I'm hearing EAFC is this terrible crap game. I saw a couple months ago, AA9 Skills released his FIFA rant video 2 months into the year, I think, or 3 months into the FIFA year, the FIFA gaming year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Usually he was posting them in March, April. In November? That was just I could sit here and talk for an hour. No one's gonna sit here and listen to me talk about this shit for an hour. Those are the main reasons, in my opinion. Ease of cards. I mean, seriously, guys. Back then, man, back then, dude. Even I think the ease of cards thing, even when in FIFA 17, I think, like I said, FIFA 19 was the shift year. Even in FIFA 17 and 18, remember FIFA 17 Weekend League, you could dominate Weekend League with 81 rated Kante, 82 rated Jack Butland in goal. You could do that in FIFA 17 in when Weekend League first started. In FIFA 18, I remember I would do very well in Weekend League with 81 rated Gabriel Jesus and John Stones in the back. I would do money. I would get a good amount of wins. FIFA 19 was the shift year. SBCs exploded. The gameplay started introducing clear metas. Yes, I know FIFA has never came out. EA's never came out and said, oh, yes, there's metas and shit now. But we as players know they introduced metas. They would nerf certain players. They would buff certain players. And for players like me, I want to hit home on this. Players like me who would grind the game, FIFA 19 specifically, when they would nerf something. A guy like me, say if the meta was tall, lanky, strong players like Zlatan. Remember those annoying ass tall players like Zlatan, the SBC Zlatan in FIFA 19, if you remember. I built my team around that and playing around Zlatan. I have a whole club of players dedicated to that style of play. And I remember in that year, all of a sudden the meta shifted. All of a sudden, Zlatan was useless. All of a sudden, my team and the style of play and the custom tactics I did was complete dog shit. But a guy like me who would grind the game and built a whole club around that style, I can't all of a sudden just change my team to maybe shorter players with lower center of gravity and better dribbling and composure and shit, better dribbling stat to accommodate the new meta. I wasn't able to do that. But a lot of players who had all these cracked SBCs and spending money and having all these amazing cards were able to do that. And players like me, the true Ultimate Team players who would still play the game for what it's supposed to be, would suffer and turn us off. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there just like me who are probably watching this video like, yes, relating to me. Think, yes, this guy's speaking my mind. Because guys, I got the credentials. FIFA 12 to FIFA 21. I was there. I wasn't there since FIFA 09 when Ultimate Team first dropped. I remember there was like 1 million players or something in FIFA 09 first year. But the peak of FIFA was FIFA 12, 13, 14, 15, and then it started, FIFA 12, 13, 14, peaking at FIFA 15, 16, 17, 18, FIFA 19, drop off, 20, 21, and obviously now it's way in the gutter. And I think, sure, pro clubs is still fun. Pro clubs is still fun. But at its root, pro clubs was never about playing FIFA. Pro clubs has always banked on the fact that you get on with your friends, make some silly characters with a long nose and afro, and you go out and score a bicycle kick and make fun of each other for being shit. That's what pro clubs banks on. It doesn't bank on the quality of the game. The concept is fun, but pro clubs really banks on friends making memories together and nostalgia and people thinking back of how fun pro clubs is and all that, late nights making fun of each other and shit and just horsing around. That's what pro clubs banks on. It's not, at its core, it's not a FIFA game. It's like a hangout session. It's like the hangout mode on FIFA. And career mode has hit this point where, yes, I know 2K does those specialized career modes and stuff, but even ask a 2K NBA fan, that shit is ass now. It's nuanced. It's boring. And I think FIFA, remember the Alex Hunter stuff FIFA did? I think they hit the home there. They really did. 2 years, that's it. The first year was fun. The second year, I think they realized, okay, it was just, it's kind of nuanced again. You're playing as his like stepsister or something. And they stopped it there. They didn't keep it on every year, which was a good idea. They tried to introduce, FIFA Street. That, honestly, that FIFA Street mode, whatever year it was kind of ass, man. I think it was FIFA 20 or FIFA 21. It was ass. I never got into it. It wasn't as fun because, as long as, we say FIFA Street was a great game, but that game is purely a nostalgia game. It relies on the nostalgia when we were little kids choosing Spain, Barcelona, Bayern, Real Madrid, and playing five-a-side with freaking, I would always choose Bayern and my friends would always choose Barcelona, Messi and Pedro, Iniesta, Xavi versus Schweinsteiger, Lahm, Robin, Ribery, Neuer. Like that was the fun of FIFA Street, but that's all nostalgia. So yeah, the ship has sailed. Younger generations, they're not built for playing that style of FIFA that we grew up on the last 10 years. And sure, 2K25, 2K FIFA, 2K, say FIFA 2K25 releases better gameplay. They still cannot just all of a sudden go back to making getting good cards difficult, because the new generation of these FIFA fans that have been catered to and pampered to with having legends by the second month, the third month of the game, they're not gonna vibe with it, and they're not gonna play the game. They'll just go play Fortnite. They'll just go play, I don't know, some other game. That's just the truth. So it's unfortunate. I'm just glad that I grew up in a time where I got to experience FIFA for what it was. When pro clubs dropped, the peak of Ultimate Team, the grind, winter breaks, spring breaks, weekend grinding with my friends all the time. I'm glad. I look back at that time. I think I'm thankful, because if I grew up with these FIFAs, sure, I probably wouldn't realize it. These little kids don't realize how great it was back then because they have different standards. But I just look at these games now and the future of, and how I think they can't salvage this game. And at the end of the day, I'm grateful I grew up in a time period where I played FIFA for what it was. I played FIFA at its peak, and I got to make those memories then. So it's unfortunate leaving the video on a slightly positive note. Hopefully you guys think about that nostalgia factor. But yeah, guys, that's all I want to say about it. Have a good one. See you in the next one. Toodle pip.